Michael Fassbender, I just want to touch his face so
Oh,
bad.
beautiful man. Beautiful. No, Nick, you look at the man. Look at him.
No, I think a lot of people are beautiful. I don't want to touch their face.
Okay, fair.
I added the promo for the thing. Isn't that fun?
Fucking beautiful, man.
Excited.
Yeah, to see the other one.
Yeah, it's coming out this week.
Title
match week.
Came out or it's coming out?
It's coming out. This is title match week.
Okay, so we already know who's playing.
We do.
Oh, okay. Well, then talk about it.
I don't want to harp on this because, like, I feel like we should mention it and then let it go. But wow, the amount of cheating in that team's contender.
I still haven't gone back and looked.
Like, I don't want to be a bully, but there is some level of like, wow, you screwed a lot of us over.
You know, yeah, no, I mean, I get it. I think people had similar sentiments on the Facebook page. Like, there were some comments on the video that were like, whoa.
Yeah.
So it seemed like in that match in particular,
yeah,
it was worse than normal.
If anything, it just makes Posse Galore's win all the more impressive.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Nutty, right?
So what do we want to harp on it or do we want to move on?
Let's harp on it a little bit, but like I'll let you know if we get to, you know.
Well, so I edited it, but
I was hosting it. We didn't notice.
Oh yeah, it was you and Anna, wasn't it?
Yeah, this can turn into a conversation about complacency.
But I don't even know because I want to be careful because we have information that isn't out in the world. Had he not admitted to what he was doing to Cody, which is very public, Cody has said it on call that he got on a call with him and he admitted it all. Had that not happened, so thank you, Cody, for performing a sting operation. I think that's the greatest thing I think that's awesome. Had that not happened, I don't think anything of people looking off to the end.
Not at all. No,
like,
I still won't.
Yeah, and so like I don't know that like it's a complacency issue because how are we?
Because here's the deal: if we paid super close attention, we would have noticed like eyes scanning, and like we would have noticed, obviously, because people noticed.
Mm-hmm.
But Anna claims she knew before, and she's like, "I thought I told you," and I was like, "No, you did not."
In that match specifically,
I don't. No. She can't remember, which is why I don't think she did. But
I did.
But no, because it kind of is, because that's the kind of when people in the past, there have been people in the past who we thought like had a second person in the room who were writing answers, and the way they were looking off was kind of fishy and stuff like that. But I used to do it when I play. If you watch my old matches, I literally like write it down, or before I write it down, I go like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I swear to you, I am staring at the movie in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And my notes, yes. Like I'm replaying the movie like in front of me. And that's just what people do sometimes. So it's a bit of both. It's a bit of like someone we trusted, so we don't need to look too deep into it. And it's a thing that people do all the time that I will not try. And like, I would like to be on the record of like, yes, it sucks because we had to rewrite our schedule and we wasted a lot of questions on matches that don't count for records now. They count for stats, which is why we've still released them. But I'd still rather trust the player playing to a degree and find all this out later than be like nitpicking every single person who plays. Because like transparency, we just shot like 2 debut singles matches with people who have never done anything in this before. Like literally, we asked them to join, or someone in some like Jack's friend just played. And Jack's friend has never played in this before.
Sky. I was like, Jack's friend?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And it would be wild if we started off by being like, great, show us your room, show us everything. Hey, don't look at the ceiling. Look back. Like, I wouldn't want to come back to that if I was a new person.
That's fair.
So all that is to say, like, I'm not mad at us for not catching it. It sucks that it happened and we were at the point that we were. But I also like would rather trust and then be hurt than not trust and hurt everyone else. And
yeah, no, I think,
and that's not to say we won't call out fishy shit. Like everyone who plays, we tell them to keep their hands on screen, and I tell them like, keep your hands on screen. I know you're not cheating, or I don't think you're cheating, but other people do, and so we need to make sure everyone watching knows that you're not.
Is it shit?
So that I was listening to that video and Anna was in bed, and they play that sound like of the 20 voices saying is it like 30 times in a 10-minute span. Every time Anna looked up and was like, what the hell is going on?
I didn't watch the whole thing. I just watched the clips of people supposedly cheating.
Do you want to talk about those clips?
We can talk about those.
We do a quick recap of those clips. Start with the most obvious, which is Draco from the showdown.
Oh, that was cheating.
Oh God, that was the most cheating thing ever. And I remember when Nazario first made a video to that, he was like reacting to it live, and he did this the most epic thing where he like found like he was like, all right, I'm gonna do this in real time. Pauses the video, goes and looks up. He's like, oh, John Kreese. All right, well, let's check IMDb. Oh, there's the last name and the actor, but I don't have the first name. Crazy.
So, and Draco was just on IMDb.
Yeah.
Waiting to search stuff.
And like, dude, everyone watching him was just like,
I don't like saying the name, but I'll say it. Harloff looked like he knew in that moment.
They both, Ellis, they both looked like they knew what he was doing, but didn't want to call him out in the midst of it. And it's weird because in a way, I get it. If you've never had to deal with that, which they hadn't at that point because they were all in person.
Yeah.
It's awkward to be like, hey, you're cheating. Stop.
Yeah.
You still should, especially if you care about the people watching who care about the integrity of the game.
Like Payson and Payson. Like they did with I think. Well, I guess they.
But think about like the early days of multiplexes when Nazario has most of these cheating videos because people were afraid to just be like, "Hey, are you cheating?" Like, please, you know what I mean? So in a way, I get it, but at the same time, it's like, wow, what a piece of crap.
Genuine question. Let's say there were, and I know you could go and look. I'm not asking you to go and look, but let's say there were 30 people who played in Fandom 1 or Fandom Season 1 at the original days of Multiplex. How many of those people do you think cheated?
Fandom Season 1. Well,
like early days Fandom Multiplex, like, do you think everyone was cheating?
I know of at least 4 for sure.
Wow.
So do you.
Oh.
I don't want to say it because I'm going to have to bleep myself again.
Yeah.
I'll just say they are currently active in things. Not our things, but regardless. Yes, and I think it's because at that time, it was a pathway to the Schmodown. Because Paul, awkward, but Paul had gotten there that way. I think Chance had gotten there that way.
Through
Eventually Robert
multiplex
got there that way.
stuff you're saying.
So yeah, so people were like, if I can like be the champion in this, they're not gonna, the Schmodown's not gonna watch this, but they might hear that I'm the champion here. So I need to get there by any means necessary, and they won't know the difference. And it worked for some people.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I think it's possible
Yeah,
that
it definitely did. People who don't brush their teeth and smell. Yeah, I can confirm that.
I think it's possible that a lot of people were. The second clip, don't know Dale.
Oh, was that the Full Metal one?
Yeah. Listen, there are worse things. Like, does cheating at online trivia automatically make you a bad person? No. There are worse things you can do in life where I'd be like, ooh, you're not good. You're bad. It's not the most honorable. It's pretty pathetic, in my opinion.
I would agree.
All that is to say, don't know Dale. Perhaps he's a fine person.
To what you're saying, that was his name, Dale.
Yeah.
A person who shows up and plays 1 or 2 matches because they were a fan of the Schmodown and they found Full Metal or Multiplex or whatever at the time.
Sure.
They show up, they play 1 or 2 matches, and they do a little. I don't automatically assume that those people, like you said, are terrible people. Where I think it kind of transcends is like, do you make this your whole identity?
Yeah, that's
like, to be clear, I do not think, or do I have I ever thought that like Andrew James Barr has been a cheater. Never, ever, would never expect that. So let me be clear. I'm just using him as an example. But for a long time, he was, and still, I mean, he's still a huge presence in the community. But he's kind of taken a step back from a lot of things. Like he's not playing Melee singles.
Enjoying retirement.
What's that?
He's enjoying his well-earned retirement.
Yes. So, but if it had come out that he was a cheater and the whole time he had been cheating, I would assume he was a bad person, because it was like we trusted you, we made you this like you made this your thing. It would be like if you and I, if it came out that you and I would like cheated the whole time,
or Brittany or Joe or
Brittany or Joe or
Tyler,
Meltzer, like Kastner, like any of these people that have like found huge success. Now that doesn't mean that necessarily big success. It could be someone that's just been around, and I can't think of any examples other than
I'll disagree a little, because you said you think that makes them a bad person. I think it's possible for a good person.
I'm not saying okay, bad person is maybe a stretch. I just mean that like it feels fake to me. How do I trust you in anything else? Because
it's a mark in the bad person column for sure.
It's like if you make something your whole identity and it's bullshit.
Sounds like you have some self-discovery to do.
Yeah.
But anyway, Dale, 100% cheated.
Oh, 100%.
And I can't stand the like theatrics and like the.
Yeah, it was pretty rough.
Now
the controversial one.
How many repeats do I have? Dude, I don't think it's controversial at all, and I will absolutely claim credit for this, but that vote was 3-0. And I was like, I wouldn't let Richie play here if I thought he cheated.
Yeah, I don't think he cheated.
So I said no. And then I went and looked at the poll again later, and like 13 other people had voted for it. I was like, looks like I opened the floodgate. No, man, I think I like Richie a lot, except that he beat my fiance. She's still sore about it. She shouldn't have bet when I told her not to bet. Should have listened to the questions. Anyway, no, man, I think he was playing in a thing. No, that was weird. I think it's very possible he could have been.
Team.
What?
He was on my team. I was there.
Oh, in that match, he was on your team?
In the clip, and is it Chet? I was there.
What was it like?
It was something different.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So I think he genuinely. I think it's possible he was trying to cheat. Like, if you're going to try and cheat, yeah, you put your board down, you pick your phone up, and you look at the answer. That's how you cheat. So,
Yeah.
like, is it possible? Yes. Is it? I think it's more likely that he was just like, well, I'm out for this question. As we do in this day and age, because we're all addicted to our phones, he just was like, all right, let's text somebody. And then when Nazario was like, Richie, are you on your phone? He remembered where he was.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, shit. Yeah, my bad.
I think
is more likely.
And in scenarios like that, which I can't think of many, but in those types of scenarios, I would say that if he did that a second time, if he was brought back to something different the following week and he did the exact same thing again, then you cut ties. You say, hey, man,
then you say,
I don't think you necessarily cheated, but we told you can't have your phone. So this show, you can't be on anymore.
Yeah,
and I would do the same thing for Fandom.
Yeah. Even if I'm dead wrong, he still didn't cheat because he got caught before he could get there.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
But yeah, I agree. It's like, dude, it's the same thing where it's like, yeah, you might not be cheating. Your hands might just be in your lap, but we've told you 100 times your hands got to be on screen. You're not allowed to play here.
Now, let's be honest for just a second. Like, I think honesty is the best policy. Who in the community has their hands off screen the most?
Nazario
Montenegro.
100% that 100%. Guy. It's not. We're not even joking. That is so true. No, the amount of times I've had to be like, Nazario, freaking hands.
And I know for a fact he does not cheat, because if he did, he would be the champion of so many things. He has that belt that he like carries around and slaps people's in the face with, but it's hosted by some Christian Harloff wannabe. I don't know what it is, but he's not cheating, but that man never has his hands on screen. And even his partner, Mike, has to sit there and go,
all the time.
Dario, get your hands on screen.
When he manages him in singles, that's all he does.
What'd you say?
I said when Mike manages Nazario in singles, he gives him no advice. He doesn't help him. All he does is yell at Nazario to keep his hands on screen.
Oh, Nazario has a match coming up. We just shot a Blockbuster video match. I don't want to say who because the schedule's not out yet.
It'll be out next week.
Yes. But it is very good. While it was happening,
it's the first match that we're releasing. You can say it.
I could say who played and everything.
Yeah. Well, not the result, but so yeah.
Blockbuster video versus Malachi Cargo. It's very good.
Magical.
It turned out really well. I just edited it. It turned out very good. While it was happening, a little stressful, but lots of laughs to be had. I laughed a lot while editing, but there were multiple times during that match where Mike was like, fucking Nazario, get your hands on screen. And it's like, it is. I think it is very funny that Nazario cannot even think.
It's not even on purpose. He's not even doing it as a joke.
It's not a joke. He's just being.
It's so funny.
It's great. But we all do that. I think it's just funny that he has made a career almost out of scrutinizing other people for everything, not just cheating.
That's his thing.
But literally,
he's made a career out of being a troll and a shit.
I'll get a mess. We shoot about a month and a half in advance. I'll get a message. Hey, TBNT Inc. Brand new match just dropped. Payson plays Bill. Enjoy the match. It's great. We shot it 2 months ago. I have no idea what's happening. But I get a message at 2 a.m. that says, fucking Sword in the Stone question is wrong. And I go, what are you talking about?
Yeah, it doesn't reference what it
What
is.
are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about right now. And I know he doesn't just do it to us. I know he does it to Cody and Payson and Dylan and Mark and all of us. I know he does it to everybody, but I think it's hilarious. He literally scrutinizes everyone. And actually, when we have him back on the show, because we will eventually, because he's delightful. I want to talk to him about that.
Yeah, there's a reason he was our first guest, but
and we didn't even talk to him about half the stuff we wanted to. That was a great episode, but yeah.
I know.
We peaked early. That was a good one.
But to wrap this up, I think the worst offense is not it would be the day that we started aiding people to cheat. And not to cause too much controversy, but I think that's what sank the Schmodown. Not Andraco cheating, but them clearly. I think when Bonnie Somerville played her match,
when she was like high on ketamine,
possibly,
allegedly,
and she was getting Facebook messages and acting all erratic. I am pretty sure though that was someone from the Schmodown or someone backstage. Maybe she had someone there to help her, and someone was backstage sending her answers.
Yeah.
We've heard, I remember before I fell off of being a fan of them, I heard Matt Nost talking about how they used to have 2 sets of questions.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
I think they screwed a friend of ours who played in that league doing that.
I would agree.
And that's what to me is the worst offense, because at the end of the day, it's supposed to be for fun. And if you need to cheat to win, to have fun, I think you're in this for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, for sure. That I can't imagine that I've never won a belt in singles, so I don't know.
That's not true.
That's not true. That's not
Metal Geek champion.
That's true. What I was gonna say was, if I had cheated to beat you in fandom singles,
sure,
it probably wouldn't have felt as good as actually beating you.
Correct.
So I don't understand what these people are getting out of it, but to each his own. We've talked about this a lot. If you're a cheater out there, we still love you, but we think you're a terrible person and you should go to hell. No, I'm just kidding. That's not true. I wanted to make Nick do that. We hope.
No, man, there's a lot of people we've banned for cheating who are not around anymore, who quite frankly wouldn't let play again. But I wish you well. I hope you're doing well in life. I hope that whatever place you were in that made you cheat at online trivia, you're not in that place anymore. And that's the most sincere, genuine thing I can say.
I agree. No, I agree. And we've seen it firsthand. Like, we know people who have cheated, who have admitted to it, apologized, and have come back, and they're better for it. And I think, I don't know what goes behind the scenes at Multiplex anymore, obviously, but I know that Cody got a lot of backlash for what he said about like still welcoming Cameron on like other shows other than like trivia, like other stuff, and that they kind of walked that back a little bit, and that has been walked back publicly. But that's the sentiment I agree with. The sentiment of letting people have a second chance.
The timing.
I agree with, but the timing, that's correct. The timing is the big thing. And I think people giving that backlash was should have been there. I agree with that. And I think the walk back was the right move. But from like our perspective, like, who knows if we're going to be doing this in 5 years, but if in 5 years, since it's out in the open, who cares? Holtzman comes to us and is like, hey, 5 years ago, I did this. This was really rough. I was wondering if I could come on round 4 and talk about it. Yeah,
sure.
But I'm not going to let you do that tomorrow. Like,
I might.
Well, you like drama.
Not so much drama, but like, and first of all, I hate drama.
That's fair.
I like to watch drama. I like to watch manufactured drama on television,
like Survivor and The Amazing Race.
But actually, in real life, it's just a waste of my time.
That's
but no, I'd have him on the because this is supposed to be like an interview show, getting to know the guests. Can you imagine if like someone talked to that video game guy who cheated that you were talking about that
He
one
just
time?
won a lawsuit.
He won a lawsuit, so maybe he didn't cheat.
No, people still think he did. It was Australian government, so
Maybe
like
we should.
get him in.
No, well, yes, but also stop talking because we were incriminating ourselves, implementing ourselves. I don't know.
Yeah,
the legal
I
term.
apologize, Mr. Mitchell. Okay, we are gonna go and talk to someone else now.
We are.
This person has long hair, has a beard, and is a nerd,
Yes.
and is a sweet boy. We're gonna go talk to Mr. Payson Johnson. Let's go talk.
Payson,
Yeah.
welcome to round 4. We forgot to say that in the intro, but this is round 4. If 30 minutes in you didn't realize that. You were just saying what you're doing tomorrow. What is that?
I'm doing what I do every Friday night, and that is go see a movie. Usually try to see the biggest release on Friday night, and then I try to see 2 movies a week because I like to review them on the video store. And yeah.
I've seen your Cinemasters reviews.
Oh, thank you, Nick. Yeah.
I only watch for movies that I am probably not going to see.
That's fair. That's fair.
Payson, why not Thursday night?
It's so weird. I work at a special education school, and it's Monday through Friday, and I just like saving that for the Friday night.
You're done with work, and it's
real nice treat for getting done. I can usually go and get like some fast food afterwards,
Nice.
either In-N-Out or Chick-fil-A. I just realized I don't think either of you live in an In-N-Out state, but
no, but we were just there, and I used to live there. And it's a good treat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so a Minecraft movie. When this airs, the movie will have come out. This will air the same night you're doing Cinemasters reviews, actually. So head on over to the video store and check that out. But the movie sucks.
Looks like shit, right?
It's terrible. I saw it this morning. It's awful.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I missed the Minecraft craze. Like when it became really popular, I was a senior in high school. So like I remember it like being a thing and trying to play it. And Payson knows this. Him and I privately have talked about video games a lot. I'm very like story driven, action adventure type games. Like I just very cinematic games, which makes sense per my movie love. But so I remember when it came out being like, everyone's talking about this game. Like, it's an endless thing that never ends. You just, it wasn't something I was super interested in, but looking at the things that people have made in it and the creativity, really cool, like really, really cool stuff. It's just not something that ever hit me.
It's really.
So I have one Minecraft story, and I used to visit a friend's house in like junior high school. And every now and then when I'd go over, he'd be like, let's play video games. And that was never my thing. I always wanted to like go run outside or do something like that.
Nerd.
I would play video games, but one time
You
did it.
You're so cool. Okay.
I did it. GameCube was my thing. Once it went past that, I was kind of like, eh. Yeah. He played Minecraft once. I was like, okay. I watched him for 2 minutes. And I was like, this is stupid. I'm leaving. And then I left.
Payson, what's your Minecraft experience?
Yeah, so it's so funny. So Minecraft, the beta, which is like the unreleased form of video games for people that aren't in the know, when that came out, I was in 7th grade.
I've seen Spy Kids 3D Game Over.
Good shit, you know your stuff. So the beta came out when I was in middle school, and through like our school's computer labs, there was this one giant like X drive where like you log in through your individual like file, and then you can save things on your H drive, which is to your account, and then if you save it to the X drive, that is the class's account. And a bunch of people would always like put flash games from coolmathgames.com represent that website, rest in peace. So much fun. And someone put Minecraft in that file. So I didn't really have like a strong enough computer at home to play Minecraft. But in 30-minute increments in computer lab, if I ever got done with my work early, I would just play some Minecraft. And I would just like build, like I couldn't really save my progress, but I would just build like any random stuff. See if I can find a creeper. So yeah, that's kind of my Minecraft. I'm with Tim. Like if I ever just look at like any Minecraft creation, I'm like, gosh, that must have taken so long. And I applaud that. Like the model versions like Westeros from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So two things. First of all, coolmathgames.com is still up and running.
Oh, let's go.
I was worried when you said rest in peace. I had to check it out. Second, is it? I don't understand. I know the general concept of Minecraft. Is it an online like world? Like if someone builds the Eiffel Tower, can anyone go in and like go see the Eiffel Tower?
You can if you're invited to, I believe.
If you make your world public, anyone can go see it. But you can also just keep it private and just play by yourself.
Interesting. How do you win?
That's my point. I like beginning, middles, and ends.
You don't win.
It just is. It's just a world, which is why, like in a movie, it kind of the concept of the movie, like, oh, it's this world that we want to save because people live in it and stuff. Like, I can get behind that. As a game, something where I like just continuously. It's like the Payson, help me out.
Well, that's you build
live
it's
service,
like...
the live service model. I'm not a huge fan of just like the constant going back and going back and going back.
It sounds like it's just digital Legos.
Yeah. It's a good way to put it.
There are a lot of different colors. That's honest. Yeah. There is an entire so there are two modes in Minecraft. There's a survival mode where you're still trying to just build stuff, but like different monsters can attack you. Or there's literally just creative mode where you're invincible. You can fly around. You have unlimited materials, and it's just for building stuff. You're not trying to survive or anything. Yeah.
Sounds way better.
We have 7 cups and 10 tins.
What?
At AMC? Oh, there we go.
Collect them all.
Oh, for the movie.
Yeah.
I had no idea what you were saying.
Yeah, so anyway, it's not good.
Looks real dumb.
For the first, I told Maggie for the first, and I'll watch your review, Payson, to see if you agree with me. But for the first 45 minutes, I was like, "This isn't so bad that I want to die." There were moments. There's specifically one joke towards the beginning that made me laugh very hard, and I was like, "Okay, maybe I won't hate this." And then it's just kind of boring. And the last 45 minutes like loses a lot, and it's just kind of So I ended up giving it 2 stars, but it was like for the most part, it was like a 3-star movie for half, and then like a 1-star movie for half, and I kind of chucked it all up to 2 stars.
Yeah.
Payson, question for you. Prior to this movie's announcement, did you think the game warranted a film? And second, Jack Black should just stop, right?
Okay, so the first one, do I think the game warranted a film? Do I think it warranted one? No. Do I see how, as Hollywood, how could you not do that? Unfortunately,
warranted an animated film.
Honestly, yeah. If it was an animated film and and I don't love this movie, but if it was in the vein of the Super Mario Brothers movie, that would make a lot more sense than a live-action Minecraft film. Mm-hmm. I just think the whole idea of humans getting sucked into a game world is such a tired trend. And at the end of the day, like, it's Minecraft, it doesn't have a story. I know you have to make a story, but I just think that was like, the second I saw that, I was like, oh, this is going to be a nightmare. And I'll be honest, I like to give every movie the benefit of the doubt walking in. I don't like to hate pile on, like, I don't like to dog pile on movies. Like, when I see everyone hating, I try to see, like, okay, is this going to be as bad as people say, or am I going to find something? But I do have preconceived notions. I'm a human being, and when I saw that trailer, I was like, this looks like one of the fake movies in Tropic Thunder. And that's the closest thing. And it's funny that Jack Black is both, but I was like, this doesn't seem real. I saw Wicked with my mom, and when the Minecraft trailer started, I just trolled her, and I was like, oh, get ready, this looks so good. And then after the trailer run, she just looks at me and she's like, You're not my son. And I'm like, no.
And Jack Black was just in the Jumanji series where they get sucked into video games.
Yeah, and like, should Jack Black stop? I like Jack Black.
I love Jack Black.
Okay.
School of Rock is one of my favorite movies of all time, and I think Jack Black had an incredible career for some time. I think he should stop now.
That's fair.
You might disagree, but yeah.
No, it's funny when you look at like the comedic actors that we all like hold into the high regard as like these are the greatest comedic actors. It's so funny when you look to see like they never have like super long runs. Like I think of like Eddie Murphy in the 80s. His run was like from like 82 to 88. That was his prime run. Jim Carrey, it was like 94 to 97. Maybe a little bit past that. Will Ferrell, I'd say it was like 2004 to maybe like 2010, and that's when it started to peter out a little.
Yeah,
that's fair. I didn't think
maybe
about
it's
that.
just like all it takes is a short amount of time to like make a name, and then you're set from there.
Seth Rogen's another one where like you think like 40-Year-Old Virgin and Knocked Up. Like he's still doing stuff, and I still enjoy a lot of what he's doing. I haven't watched The Studio yet, but I hear it's
so
great.
Good.
Yeah, I heard that for us Scorsese fans, there's some good funny shit in it. But he's another one where like Neighbors 2, Sausage Party, like these movies like aren't like breaking ground like in huge ways. But I thought you said something interesting, Payson, that I wanted to mention. So twice in the last month, this weird phenomena has hit me where I have these preconceived notions of a movie, and I agree with you. I go in trying to give it the best shot. Now, it doesn't always work. Snow White, I heard nothing but shit. I saw it a week after it came out. Still shit. Still did not enjoy it.
That's an example of a movie that is every bit as bad as people are saying. I just leave the
It's funny. The first 30 minutes, I was like, okay. And then it goes on for another 90 minutes, and it's still it's terrible. But what I was going to say was this movie got generally good reviews, but Novocaine, I heard from a lot of people, was very mid, not that great, kind of disappointing. And I loved it. I thought it was phenomenal. And then it happened again this week where the reviews were actually pretty mixed to bleh. Was Death of a Unicorn, where like I went in going, everyone who's come to my theater has said this is not great. All my friends on Letterboxd are not giving this thing high regards. And I went and watched it. I was like, I really liked it. It's like one of my favorite movies of the year. So I think there's something to be said about hearing the negativity and kind of letting it. You go in with really low expectations, but
what you said my nickname, the negativity.
The negativity.
Yeah, I'm rather oddly enough, and you might not believe me. I also try to go. I think I'm pretty successful at like going into a movie and dropping all the preconceived notions.
I agree with you. You just don't see it in movies anymore.
Prior to that moment, I developed a lot of preconceived notions. And Snow White might be the one where I just don't go see it and fall back on my preconceived notions.
You're not gonna miss much. Like I have a thing where if a movie is out, I can't talk shit about it until I've actually seen it.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah, but that is one that I will tell you.
I do talk shit about movies I haven't seen, but only based on what they have promoted to us.
What you have seen, yeah.
What only on the information I can go off of. And I was doing that about Captain America: Brave New World, and then I went and saw it and was like, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen.
It's not the worst thing I've ever seen, but
which sounds a lot better than how I was talking about it prior to.
Oh my god!
If there's a movie where you can tell you was put in a blender and just scuttled around and just pieces were just placed. That is maybe like that was worse than the movie is not worse than Suicide Squad, but the reshooting was worse to me than Suicide Squad.
I just think Hollywood has a problem right now. Like, why does every movie need to be reshot 4 times? If not because they are just primarily just churning out these paint by numbers. And I know like all like the old people like say that like, oh, Hollywood's just making blah blah blah. But at this point, I kind of agree with the old people who are like,
yeah, but
it's just a
honestly,
machine.
I don't disagree with what you're saying. I think the reshoot thing is less than your it's high profile shit. Yes, I agree with you on there. But there's a lot of movies. I was gonna ask Payson like about some of his favorites of the year. A lot of my favorite movies of the year, I think, are some of the best movies I've seen in a while, and they are smaller.
I think they're starting to
low
course.
budget films.
I think they're starting to course correct. But yeah,
Yeah, because like my top 5 are all lower budget movies that I didn't know a lot about before going into, and are clearly just like crafted, whether you like them or not, they are clearly like handled with care. I liked Captain America because I like Captain America. We've talked about it ad nauseum on this show, but it's not for the same reason I like these other movies. But like my top 5 of the year right now is Death of a Unicorn, Novocaine, Companion, Hard Eyes, and then Black Bag. And those are all movies that I think Novocaine's probably the highest budget of those. Maybe, probably. That's probably the highest budget of those 5 movies.
Yeah.
Maybe Companion, just because of, well, no, that's a low.
No, I was just gonna say maybe Black Bag just because of the actors, but
Companion's the only one I haven't heard of.
It's on my Vudu. Watch it. I don't want to say a word about it. Just watch it with
Can you just
Anna.
tell me like who's in it? I might have.
Jack Quaid
Quaid.
and oh my gosh, Sophie. Did you watch Heretic? Sophie Thatcher.
He did not watch Heretic. I
okay.
promise. Yeah, Jack
Quaid's in that too.
What?
Jack Quaid's in 2 movies that have come out in 3 months.
So it's on the Vudu. It just came out on Blu-ray. I bought the 4K. Watch it with Anna. Don't know a thing about it before going into it. I think you would like it actually quite a bit.
Close your eyes when you're clicking on the movie, so you don't even look at the poster. Trust me. Just yeah.
I wind up watching like the Croods in New Age, and I'm like, what the hell is this Companion movie Tim was talking about?
Oh my god!
Jack Quaid's not even in here.
You're more G-rated with the joke I was about to make, but so good on you. Good on you.
Fair. It was
I had not seen any trailers or anything for Companion, and I saw the poster because we had it at my theater, but it didn't really. I didn't put 2 and 2 together until I watched the movie. So it is definitely worth watching. It's very I love it. I think it's really great. Maggie knows nothing about it, and I'm gonna make her watch it, and I'm very excited. But to the same point, honestly, I feel like there's been a couple of those movies this year where like the less you know about it, the better almost going into it. What do you like this year so far, Pace?
Yeah, so I believe we have the same favorite, Black Bag. Black Bag is just such a well-crafted 90-minute spy thriller about 2 characters that might be on opposite sides. They might be on the same side. You have Yeah, go ahead.
You were just about to say Michael Fassbender. I just want to touch his face so bad.
Beautiful man. Beautiful. No, Nick, you look at the man. Look at him.
No, I think a lot of people are beautiful. I don't want to touch their face.
Okay, fair.
It's him and Cate Blanchett as the leads. Like
I saw a trailer for that movie, and I really thought, and maybe you guys thought this too, I really thought that was like okay, so this is just a paycheck for these 2 fantastic actors who are coming to phone it in.
So
you didn't think that before seeing it?
No,
before seeing it, this is what I thought. It is directed by Soderbergh.
Yeah.
I am on record saying this man releases 1 to 2 films a year, and I dislike most of the movies he makes. I am just not a Soderbergh fan. I love the Oceans trilogy. Well, I love Oceans 11 and 13. I think 12 is fine. There are some other movies of his that I very much enjoy, but on the, like Logan Lucky, I think Contagion is good.
Have you seen Out of
What's that?
Have you seen Out of Sight?
Which one is that?
That's the one George Clooney and Jennifer Lopez. They do a heist in Detroit. I think you would really like that. It's very proto Oceans movie.
Oh, that's fair.
That's the one I would.
But his newest stuff has been like, and I didn't see Presence, which he made and came out in January. Like he makes like 2 movies a year. But I didn't like Magic Mike 3. I didn't love Kimmy. No Sudden Move I thought was fine. So it's like I'm just not a huge Soderbergh fan. And so I went in, I see the trailer like Fassbender, Blanchett, Soderbergh, and I'm like, it's gonna be another 90-minute Soderbergh movie that comes out. The Soderbergh fans love it, and I think it's fine. And I went into it, watched it, and I think it's phenomenal. It is really, really well written, acted, and directed. Like, it is
cool.
Very, very good. And it is one of those movies where Conclave was one of my favorite movies of last year. And before I saw Conclave, Tyler Butler messaged me and said, it is the most tense, thrilling movie that I've watched that has no action in it. And I feel very similarly about Black Bag. Black Bag has tiny, little itty bitty moment of action, but for the most part, it's people talking. And I was sitting there like this the whole time, like, oh fuck, oh shit, what's gonna happen? It's really
Jason, we cut you off in the movies you like this year.
Yeah, so Black Bag is my favorite. A really small movie that not a lot of people have seen. It's called On Becoming a Guinea Fowl.
I saw you watch that, yeah.
Yeah, it is set in Zimbabwe. It is about this woman who's driving home and just finds a dead body on the road, and she is invited to the funeral, and just a lot of things start happening. And just how she interacts with the family. Really, really like that. Presence, Tim kind of already alluded it to, but yeah, Soderbergh has had 2 of my top 5 movies of the year. It is a ghost movie set from the perspective of the ghost, so it's all told from the first person angle of the ghost. And you know that this ghost died in this house previously, and you're watching the new family that is now inhabiting the house. Lots of really good stuff there.
Are you giving us new releases, or are you giving us movies that you've seen for the first time?
New releases.
These are all new releases.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, these are all.
I used to be way more plugged in than I am right now.
Yeah. Probably like the most like polarizing movie of the year so far, but I ended up being very positive. I was a big fan of Mickey 17. I admit it is a messy movie. It is a very ambitious movie. You can very clearly tell it's directed by Bong Joon-ho, who directed Parasite.
Yep.
It's very clearly made by someone that just won Best Picture and is cashing in everything that he can just to make the movie he wants. And I think it's saying a lot of things. I really appreciate how ambitious it is. It is a very messy movie. But I think the 100 thing that you cannot deny is how good Robert Pattinson is in this movie.
He's so
and
good.
He is incredible in both the roles of Mickey 17 and Mickey 18.
He is truly like one of those actors where like
everything. Yeah.
If you were to judge him just off of Twilight, like you're
fantastic in Twilight.
Okay. Well, you're doing yourself a disservice because he's so good in Mickey 17. And honestly, the whole cast is except for one, and it's one of my favorite actors, and they're both actually both of them are pretty bad, but I think Mark Ruffalo is like
Ruffalo's rough. Ruffalo is
really bad in the movie, and like I get what he's going for, but like it's bad. He plays, I think it's easy to say he's playing a Trump caricature, but I don't think that's what he's doing. I think he's just playing sleazy politician, and people, film critics especially, hear sleazy politician and go Trump, which isn't necessarily the case. I think that though he's doing every like grubby, like horrible,
like cartoonish.
Yeah, very like
politician.
borderline cult leader in a way. Yeah,
that you could like, and it's just like so over the top. He's having a blast, like you can tell. The character is not the problem. I think it is Ruffalo, and I love Ruffalo because he did a very similar character in Poor Things and nailed it. I think he should have won the Oscar. Like I thought he was phenomenal. Who won?
Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr.
I take that back. Downey Jr. should have won.
It was the same class that year. Like there were 4 performances. I'll stop. I know Nick probably wants to.
No, talk about it. I'm sure you guys are going to get into video games too. Trust me, there's going to be. Go for it.
Because it was Downey and Oppenheimer.
That should have won. I was wrong.
Ruffalo and Poor Things. Robert De Niro in Killers of the Flower Moon, which may have been my winner. And then Ryan Gosling and Barbie. I think all 4 of those performances were incredible. Sterling K. Brown was also there for American Fiction. I would have taken him out for Charles Melton in May December, who I think is brilliant in May December.
Which one is? Oh, that's the Julianne Moore movie.
Yeah, Julianne Moore and Natalie Portman and Charles Melton.
Yeah.
Borderline the show from both of them.
Yeah, you're 100% correct. I totally forgot that movie existed. He's phenomenal in that movie. That movie is very, very good. Wow, I can't believe I forgot about that movie.
If you hate modern acting trends and modern Hollywood like lifestyles, that is the movie to watch.
That's one of those movies where like, wow, I have not thought about that movie since the Oscar season.
It's
crazy. You totally just like took me back to that movie. Like he is really, really good in that movie, and that movie in general like is alarming. It's very Nick, I think you might actually.
What is it called again?
May December. It's on Netflix.
May December?
Yes. It's actually quite
July,
I think
August and September, October, and November.
Yeah, I forgot that movie existed. Holy shit. Now I kind of want to watch it again. Okay, so to the point. What's your worst movie of the year, Payson? What has made you just sit there and go, blah?
So I believe it. So Snow White is my bottom of the barrel. It is my 25 of 25, my 24 of 25, and this pains me. Love Hurts with Ke-Huy Quan.
Very bad.
Terrible.
Really?
It made me so sad. I wanted to love it. I don't think it's that funny. Ke-Huy Quan and Ariana DeBose are lovers in this movie, which, thank you. That's kind of what I thought at first. And I was
Sounds like an odd pairing.
Yeah, I'll put it aside. No romantic chemistry at all.
That's what I would expect.
The action.
He is very good.
Yes. Quan is good. The action is like, it is directed by people that worked on the stunts for John Wick. And so it has that same style. And the action is good on a technical level, but I think the issue is it's so over the top. And like you will see a character get thrown through a wall and just act like it's nothing. Like, and that happened 50 times in the movie. And it's like, at one point, I'm just like, can we just stop?
It has the effect of a lot of these action from the producers of John Wick recently. Yeah. Novocaine as well. I liked Novocaine a lot more because I think Jack Quaid and Amber
Thunder.
Yes. Are very good in the movie. And I think Ke-Huy Quan is good too, but it has the same effect as like the Nobody movie. Bob Odenkirk, great. The movie itself, take it or leave it. Like I liked it.
That's a movie I wish I liked more. And like you explain it on paper, I'm like, this sounds awesome. And then like you say, you watch and you're like, okay.
But there's a lot of those movies. It's becoming a genre since maybe not the first John Wick, but especially John Wick 2, 3, of the unsuspecting person who is actually an action badass and comes out of retirement or whatever. And it's a trope at this point. This one, I agree. I wanted to like it a lot more. I don't have it quite as low as you. I have it at 16 of 23.
Okay.
I have a few movies. When I do my rankings, I think a lot about what would I hate to watch more.
Interesting. Okay.
Or what would I like to watch more? So something like, I think A Working Man. Did you see it, Payson?
I did. It may be the most disappointing movie of
Oh
the
yeah,
decade.
we messaged about it. That's right. I think it might be the better made movie than Love Hurts, but it is also 40 minutes longer than Love Hurts. And Love Hurts is a more comedic tone, up like lighthearted tone than Working Man, where there's an hour and 30 minutes of slog to get to the 20 minutes of really good action.
Yeah.
Do I think they're like Working Man is maybe technically the better movie? Yes, but I would rather watch Love Hurts. It's the same way where like I like the messaging and the story of Wolfman very much, but I've seen that movie twice now, and it is hard to watch. It is hard to get.
It is. Nick, have you seen Wolfman?
No. I've not.
Imagine if you made a werewolf movie, but you kill the guy before he ever actually fully turns into a werewolf.
You kill the guy before he does?
Yep.
Does someone else turn into a werewolf?
Yeah, thank you. That is my whole thing with Wolfman. I'm just like, this is just a baffling idea on paper.
Huh.
My worst movie of the year is, I know it's one that you've seen, Payson.
Yes.
It's The Alto Knights.
Oh, dude, gosh. I don't want to be ageist, but this is a movie where you can clearly tell it was made by someone in their 80s. Because it feels like the movie is about to fall asleep at every moment. Like, just, it has the lowest amount of energy. It's crazy that it's written by the guy that wrote Goodfellas, starring Robert De Niro, and it just has none of that energy. And I think
It
it
has
just
no energy at all.
how much the director and the editor plays into it, because this movie is edited in like such a weird way where like you can't really keep track of like what everything is going on, and whenever it's just two characters talking with each other, you feel like you're about to fall asleep.
Nick, you don't go to the theater that often anymore.
Unfortunately not, no.
But when you do, is it because it's a big event film, or is it because it's one of those times where you like, do you just ever have that moment of like, I just want to go see something? Like,
I've had that before. In recent times, it's been people like will reach out and be like, want to go see a movie? And I'm like, sure.
what was Captain America the last thing you saw?
Captain America was the last one. Before that, I saw Gladiator 2 with Giancarlo.
I enjoyed Gladiator 2.
It was fine. I just thought it was dumb that, not to be ageist, that Denzel would try and fight a young dude.
Oh, that fight is hilarious. That fight is.
I've only seen it once, but I plan on rewatching it, and I'm looking forward to having
God forbid we acknowledge the natural process of life, but sure. No, other than that, it's weird. I found myself. The problem is, I'm very busy, which I know is an excuse people make when they lose a trivia match, but I'm very busy, and Hollywood is, as if to say, the movie-making industry has hurt me and scorned me over the past couple of years. So I'm much less interested in.
Is it Hollywood or is it Kevin Feige?
No, it's movies.
Okay.
It's like, I believe it or not, 2014 through 2017 or 18, I was probably a bigger Oscars fan than you guys.
Whoa.
You were as big a fan as Payson.
Well, I was larger.
Nick, you are a fit man. I am a larger man than you. I'm just
stature. Anyway.
Taller, yes, yeah.
I saw every movie. I saw the foreign films one year. I saw anything that was nominated for anything. I went and saw it, and I went and saw it twice. I saw The Imitation Game like 3 times in theaters. Cried at the end of. Still love that movie. Still a great movie.
It's a very good movie.
It's good.
And you say you go twice a week. I was at the theater every night. Like, especially in the summer. I was going to see everything all the time. And as time went on, proved to me that telling good stories wasn't their main goal anymore. I'm sure every now and then they do tell good stories, which is why people still love it. And I'm not saying I don't. Like, I'm a movie guy at heart. Like, look at the shit behind me. But the reason I loved movies and I loved going to see movies has kind of been tainted for me in the messaging and the commercialization of it. And awards I used to love, but I think the Oscars, as we've talked about it on the show before, the Oscars just doesn't award the best movies or the best performances anymore. There's all these caveats.
I mean,
And so I'm not, like, when I sit and when I pull up my movie app and I go, okay, this is playing, I could go see it. Or I could spend 2 hours catching up on work or balancing my budget.
Yeah. I don't.
I mean?
So to be clear, I think if you're a movie fan, going to the theater is important. I think supporting movies in the theater is super, super important.
Real quick, just to put a cap on it, and that's not to disparage anyone who still loves it and goes and sees it as much as I used to. Like, you can have a different opinion than me.
Absolutely. But to be said, I think that you are also a person, and there are a lot of people like this, that still watching movies at home is important. So if I say, Nick, you should watch Companion, and then you and Anna watch Companion, and then you tell someone who is a couple, like you tell Paul and his person, I don't want to
I think it'll be common knowledge at some point.
It will be, yeah. To watch this movie, so they pay to see it. It's like the pay forward thing. It is still important to watch these movies at home, and I agree. I don't think that, like, just because you're not seeing every movie, you're not at the theater 5 nights a week, doesn't mean that you don't care about it.
Here's my genuine issue, and this will maybe transition us to the next thing I want to talk about. But I am genuinely very, very busy. Not that other people aren't. When I watch a new movie, I want to sit and watch it. I can't remember the last time I've had 2 hours free to just sit and watch a new thing. And that's including, because I say I'm busy, but that's including, like, watching other shit I want to watch, like Survivor or The Amazing Race every week.
Or doing this,
And what I was going to say is doing this takes up a whole lot of my time.
Yeah, I definitely have a benefit of the fact that I get to see a lot of these movies for free. That is by far.
Now, I put a movie on I've seen before in the background while I write questions or edit round fours or anything like that. So
Survivor season 2 coming soon.
I go to sleep watching a movie every night.
Okay.
But it's a movie I've seen before, because if it's one I haven't, I will stay up and watch it, and that's not good because I need sleep to wake up and do stuff.
Okay, before we transition then, Payson, can you please tell Nick the top 3 reasons why he should watch and why it is the best movie of the year, Dogman?
So Dogman is animated RoboCop. That is one. It's animated RoboCop.
That's very true. I didn't think about that.
It has one of the best villains of the past 10 years in Petey. Petey the cat just wants to be an asshole and is thwarted by love. And 3, it has a very...
Not like you, Nick.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to be an asshole and thwarted by...
thwarted by Anna. And then you met Anna, Nick. You want to be an asshole, but then you met Anna.
Okay, anyway, 3.
Oh, man.
And 3, it has a very similar, if you like the animation style of a lot of the, like, newer DreamWorks movies with, like, Captain Underpants, or even, like, it has a little bit of Last Wish and Wild Robot. I think you will like. I think you will like.
Those are all movies Nick loves.
Dude, DreamWorks is on a hot streak.
They are. No, for real. Yeah, like I love Wild Robot. I should take it back. Maybe not. That's the best. The Bad Guys. The Bad Guys is a very similar style to how fast the animation is, and I really like The Bad Guys. Really like Last Wish. Yeah, you're right. You're kind of right. Like, of the big 3 animation studios right now, I'd say
DreamWorks,
DreamWorks is kind of killing it. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah,
Fully
I
agree.
mean, now I gotta think about this. So Wild Robot is phenomenal.
yeah,
Dogman, okay, I was joking around, but Dogman is good. It is
good,
not
not amazing, not amazing. Yeah,
it is not Puss in Boots: The Last Wish or Wild Robot.
I would agree.
But when I think of like Kung Fu Panda 4 or Inside Out 2, I'd rather watch Inside Out 2.
Fair.
Yeah,
If I gotta think about the bad guys or Elemental, I'd probably rather watch Elemental.
I might go with this, honestly.
But that is not to say that I do think that the quality of DreamWorks has improved. But I think they've gotten some really good directors on some really good stories, and they've hit really hard. Does DreamWorks have it? Oh, Bad Guys 2 is the next.
Yep, and then
I tried to transition, and you reeled me back in, Tim.
What Payson? What?
Shrek 5 next year, but yeah, Shrek 5.
Yeah, I hope they do something with because I did not like the
weird
picture they put out. Yeah,
Maggie noticed no difference, and I told her that I didn't want her to live with me anymore. What were you gonna say, Nick? You want to?
Jason, you more than most are very tapped into this trivia thing we do.
Ooh, yes, I'm gonna refill my drink.
Thank you, Timothy. I would like to know how you got started in your interests in this thing. Everyone calls it this community. I kind of hate the phrase "this community." Don't know why. I think it's just overused.
Okay.
I just think it's overused. But in this thing we do, like, how did you get introduced?
Yeah, I'm not going to pretend. I was a big fan of the Schmodown.
We just talked before you got on. We talked for like a half hour about how we loved the Schmodown, and then they were a bunch of cheaters. But anyway,
100%. Yeah, from like 2015, from when I started watching to like 2019.
How'd you find them? Were you like a?
I was a Screen Junkies fan first, and then I was carried over to Schmoes No, and then I started watching Schmoes No Show.
Gotcha.
And there, and for like 2015, 2019, loved it. Absolutely loved it. And then I was on a vacation one time, and I was and I heard that certain players had started out in what was called the fan leagues, and talk about a fucking term that I think we all hate now. And I was like, ooh, I kind of want to like figure out what this is. And there was a vacation one time where my whole family was talking about sports, and I was like, I'm just gonna go and just watch something. And I found Multiplex and Full Metal, and Multiplex just had a ton of videos, and I was just like, I'm just gonna start watching and watching and watching. And for 2 years, I didn't sign up to play. I was just like, I just love being a fan of this, and this is the coolest thing in the world.
That's what I was going to ask, because I couldn't remember the exact time you joined, but I knew it was like later than the big rush.
I started in 2021.
Which confused me, because if you started with the Schmodown, then most people came like in 2018, 2019, 2021, or 2020.
2020 was the big
So obviously, but so you really just were a fan for 2 years.
Yeah, no, and like you can go, if you go back and watch my early matches, you can tell I feel like I am playing and I am in the presence of celebrities. It is the funniest shit in the world. Where like I'm asking questions, I am answering questions that are being given to me by Caleb Boatman and Kurt Kolakowski and Redacted and other players, and it is so cool. I'm just like, yeah.
That's funny. Kurt Kolakowski just sounds like a famous person, but
okay, can we be honest though? Of all of the people in the community, maybe the most nice and most famous.
Kirk?
Yeah. Dude plays in everything and is nice to everyone.
Yeah.
Because he's just a good dude. Like, he just is like the best.
He's nice, but he doesn't take bullshit either. So like,
no, he's just the best. I love that guy. Anyway,
because the people that are like Jonah Hill and This Is the End to people, I kind of hate those people. but like Kirk's genuinely nice to everyone, and if you give him bullshit, he won't take it. Which
Yeah, Kirk is someone that like if he has a problem, he will let you know. But like Kirk is one of my favorite people to talk movies with, and he's just such a cool guy. There's a reason why we are doing a podcast together now, and it's so much fun.
Nice.
Yeah, I heard. I haven't watched the first episode's out, right, Payson?
First 2 episodes. Yeah.
Okay, I gotta go and watch this. Yeah.
Did you ever want to play in the Schmodown, or by the time you decided you wanted to play, had they already started their?
So it's funny. When I came in 2021, I was like, man, this is gonna be a cool like stepping stone. I can like build myself maybe out for like a year and a half. And I was taken in by a lot of people, and they said, I thought all of you guys were still fans of it. And when they said, no, we're not fans, and here's why, and they showed me everything, it was like, I was like, oh, this is a shitty product. And I'm like, yeah.
Dude, that's what mine was the same. I'm sure you've heard the story before, but like Tim was trying to recruit me as his partner, and Cody was also trying to do that. And I went to them and said, okay, I'll be your partner, but I'm only doing this to get to the Schmodown. So like,
yeah.
And even in my head, I was like, ooh, Tim's last partner just went to the Schmodown. So like, this is a good way to get there. And then, but that was before all the cheating and bullshit came out.
Yeah.
Well,
on the Schmodown side, Tim's
correct.
Not on the Robert side.
Yeah.
Correct. And I didn't realize until much later that, like, in that conversation, Tim and Cody were sitting there like, this fucking idiot.
I don't know that we were doing that.
I don't know that you weren't.
We were definitely. I remember talking to Cody and saying, like, dude, he's really good. I don't want to lose another partner because of this.
Yeah.
And it was definitely like a thing of Cody.
I like
Cody's credit of him being like, trust me, it's gonna be great. And the chemistry was just there from
I like Payson, probably, correct me if I'm wrong, Payson, kind of thought that's why everyone was doing this.
Yeah, no,
a lot of people, have that.
I was kind of the mindset of like, why else would you do this if not to eventually get there? So talking to you tonight, I was kind of like, well, he probably wants to go do the same thing, obviously.
Yeah.
No, it's so funny when I came into this community, the Schmodown did this huge like draft thing where they were like drafting competitors, and
that's
like
where they lost me.
Yeah, and they made a very specific point to draft competitors from the fan leagues, from the fan leagues, and like watching this, I was like, why is Caleb Boatman not in this draft? Why is Nick Tuig not in this draft? Why is Jake Marangoni? Why is Brian Michaels? And then coming in, and I was like, these people wouldn't touch that league with a 50 bajillion foot pole.
I'll give you a full honesty. I was at that draft.
Oh, fair. Okay, my bad. Okay.
No, not to be drafted. I was there as a fan.
The 2021.
Oh, whatever their first one was.
Yeah.
Their first one.
It was right when we started teaming up.
So I went to the first one because I lived like close to LA at that point. And I went and watched people get drafted who wound up being cheaters later.
That was when Robert was there.
And I remember thinking at that moment, like at that event, I was watching it and I was like, I feel like you're going against your product here. I remember thinking like, I feel like this is a bad step. And the draft is what ultimately started me to not be a fan anymore.
The moment that hit me was at the end of the 2018 season was when they started doing the paid stuff.
Sure.
And I was like, I'm not going to spend money on this. Like, I love this. I love watching this. I wasn't on camera before, but I heard you talking, Payson, about Screen Junkies and Schmoes Know and stuff. And I was a Schmoes Know fan first, and then through Schmoes Know, before they kind of became connected, I really got into AMC Movie Talk. That was well before I was a employee of AMC. Well before. And so then when the whole Collider thing, like when they connected there, like I had been a fan of Schmoes Know for such a long time that when they were doing Schmodown, matches on the show, it was just like a fun, like, you got games. It was like it literally was that. It was no, we're not doing it. But it was like that. And it was just a fun thing of like, I enjoy listening to these people talk about movies and life and everything. And then they're also playing a trivia thing, and that's fun. And then when they started doing the Schmodown on Collider, it would have been at that point.
Yeah.
It would have been after AMC Movie Talk.
2016.
It was 2016. Is that what it was?
Yeah, and where they made it a weekly show. Yeah.
So it was just like, it was one of those things where like I loved watching it because I was watching these people already do other stuff.
No, absolutely.
And to be fair, it got me into a lot of other stuff that I wouldn't have gotten into otherwise. Like, and again, not a fan anymore, but like, I was the biggest Roca fan.
Me too.
At the time. I loved the Top 10 show. I loved the Outlaw John Roca. Like, loved it. It was like, and there was a moment in 2018 where I remember, so Robert was we had just teamed up in Multiplex, and we had also teamed up in Henry's League, Bullshit Stein. I don't remember what it was called, but it was all terrible. And but Robert had started having those conversations with Schmodown, and like he got close with, like, he was friends with Paul and Chance and them already. And I remember him saying to me, and for all of Robert's bullshit, he doesn't really have a filter. And I remember him saying to me, yeah, I know you're such a huge John Roca fan. And I asked him if he would like record a video for your wedding, because this is when Maggie and I were getting married, like a congrats on your wedding. And he said, no, he wouldn't do that. And I was like, oh, so he's an asshole. And that was the moment where I started going like, these people are not what I want to think about
That's
like,
crazy.
And then 2019 was when they started doing the paid matches on the Patreon, and I was like, I'm not gonna pay for that. Like, I don't have any money as it is, and if I'm gonna spend money on anything, it's not gonna be an extra trivia match that means nothing. Like, and that was when I really got into Multiplex.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not gonna pay an extra however much money a month when I'm doing this for free over here with people who are being very nice to me and friendly, and like, I'm gonna go do that. Like, what the fuck? Oh, it's crazy.
It's so funny because like, so I wish I would have shown the restraint that you did, because I did pay. I was a member of the Patreon.
A lot of people did. You don't have to feel bad.
Yeah, there you go. But it's so funny you share that story about Roca, because I want to say it was 2 years ago. I was visiting my best friend in Los Angeles, and we were walking through. We were about to go see a new a movie at the New Beverly, and we were like, we got some time. We were seeing The Third Man. Orson Welles is The Third Man. The New Bev is the coolest theater because they Tarantino does such a good job like programming the movies to show there. Third Man is one of my favorite movies of all time. But I saw this comic book shop, and I was like, hey, let's just go to that comic book shop. And I go in there, and Mark Andreyko was just straight up there. I'm just like, oh shit, like he's I want to say it, but like, props to him. I go up and I'm like, hey, are you Mark Andreyko? He's like, yeah. It's like, hey, I used to watch the Schmodown, and genuinely super nice guy. Super nice guy. I had a good conversation with him, and it was like, yeah, nice to see him. But hearing what Tim just said, it was like, yeah, there were some people that definitely gave off the vibes of like maybe not the best people.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And I don't want to judge people I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I didn't meet that. Like, even the Roca thing, like, it kind of sounds like a dick move, but maybe he was having a bad day. Like, I like to give the benefit of the doubt. But the more live talks they did, and like real talk shows they did and stuff like that, the more I got the sense that they kind of thought their shit didn't stink.
The biggest thing was when we all went to the live show. So it was me, Cody, Coho, Boatman. No, not Boatman. Boatman wasn't there. Me, Cody,
Kane?
Coho, Jim, Kane, Tim Smith.
Yep.
We all went to the what?
Brooklyn Vale, was he there?
No.
No, okay, my bad.
Robert was there. We all went to the live show in Chicago. And we did the top 10 show and everything. And it was definitely a moment where seeing them all interact in real space in front of my eyeballs was very different than watching it on my TV, where it was like, this is a comfort thing that I'm doing because it's something to pass the time and enjoy. And watching these people not give a fuck about me saying, hey, I really like what you do. I have a picture on my phone still to this day of me, Robert, Cody Hall, I believe was his name.
Yeah.
And then I don't remember his real name, but Cobster was his nickname.
Ruva Kaba?
Yes, that's it. Thank you.
Pronounce that. I apologize.
We took a selfie with them,
Nice.
and they were super nice. Like really nice guys. And then went up to Roka, Nost, don't want to take pictures. Went up to Harloff and out, don't want to take pictures. I'm like, you're a person, you're allowed to do what you want to do. Like, you're allowed to not take a picture with a guy if he walks up to you and says, hey, can I get a picture or whatever. But then the minute Robert Parker walks up to you, hey, Spider, like, it just like, that was one of those moments where I think me, Cody, both were very like,
yeah.
holy shit.
And to tie into the conversation we started this episode with, the things that they were confirmed to have done or speculated to have done. There are things that are confirmed, and there's a lot that was speculated. Kind of just confirms to me that maybe they're not the people I want to be fans of. And I only offer that criticism because that is what they were trying to do. They were trying to put a product out to make people fans of them.
Mm-hmm.
And my assessment is that it didn't work. And therefore, I am not a fan. Is that fair?
Yeah,
I'm a fan of you, Nick.
If I just passed a random guy on the street who's a plumber, and I came on a show and was like, Jim the plumber is a real dick. I went up to Jim the plumber, and I wanted to talk to him all day, and he said, no, I have to get home to my wife and feed my kids, and what a dick for not giving me the time of day.
And then Jim's like, dude, my name's Richard. Like, what?
Correct. That's uncalled for. But if you are actively trying to gain clout and you're putting on a show in LA and you have a fan base that you regularly talk to and claim to care about,
yeah,
and then you rig matches and cheaters and things of that nature, I'm not a fan anymore.
From what Tim is saying, it sounds like an Almost Famous moment. Like, Almost Famous is one of my favorite movies, and that's an entire movie about, hey, don't meet your heroes, because they're never going to impress you, and you're probably going to be real fucking disappointed.
And that's why, to any fans we have out there, we're pretty lame.
Oh, we are not exciting people. It's
so if we put on a show, a live show, and you came to it one day, we'll take a picture with you.
Oh, absolutely. It's like when very different but similar. When I meet people at work for the first time and I get to know that I am the same here that I am at work. I am the boss of my theater, but I am generally the same. Like, I'm a little more serious when I need to be, but on the whole, I'm a pretty loose, hey, let's have some fun type of guy. And when I hear like, oh, Tim is I'm so scared of Tim. I'm like, why? Why? What have I done?
The title.
And what's that?
It's just the title.
Yeah, but that's happened here. It's like, oh, Tim, I was so afraid. I thought you hated me. I'm like, why?
It's the confidence.
What did I do to make you think that I hate
Payson,
you?
do you have insight?
Oh,
Were you ever afraid of Tim?
Do you want full honesty?
100%.
Absolutely.
It's round
Oh,
4.
yeah.
Before I came into this community and I would watch Tim play, I was like, wow, this is a very competitive guy, and it doesn't seem like the most fun person to play against.
Oh, that's
knowing and talking with Tim outside of the game, I'm like super cool guy. But I cannot lie, when I was watching and I didn't know you guys, I was like, Tim seems like a lot. And
no, I think
players.
that is a totally fair assessment, and I think actually a lot of us have that. Now that you put it that way, that's interesting because there are a lot of people that I think Kirk is a phenomenal example of a man where if you saw what went into Kirk setting up and playing a debate, you would think that Kirk was the most high-strung, horrible person you've ever met. But Kirk, I love you. You're phenomenal. You're beautiful. Don't change a thing. But yeah, no, you're right, Payson. I think that's an accurate assessment.
I have been go ahead.
No, Tim. Payson, all you.
I admit I have been guilty of this in the past, where I know I have rubbed people the wrong way in the first couple of years I played, where I just got super competitive. I looked at the game in too analytical of mine, and I'd say starting last year, I just wanted to make it a point that I just wanted to go a lot more with the flow of the game. And I really tried to think about what my perception as someone who, and this also comes into in 2024, I started helping run the game in a much bigger way. And I'm like, I gotta chill out and take a step back and realize the perception I look when I make a big deal about these things.
I was gonna ask you, Payson, Nick. I know you wanted to be stretched on time, and we're over what you wanted. Are you okay with me opening a new can of worms?
Oh God, yeah. If it's like a 10-minute can of
it can be a 10-minute can of worms. So Payson, you just said it. You now help run Multiplex Movie Melee. I think you guys are doing a great job. The matches we've seen this year, I think, are really great. I think you guys are you're one of my favorite hosts because I think you take it very seriously.
Correct.
But you also say things like Nick gets a lot of booty, and that'll become very clear in a week or so, in a few days or so. But I enjoy that about you. But now that you're helping run the league, what has changed kind of in your perception of the game from playing to running? Because you also were on a very successful Melee teams team and have stepped back from competing in that league altogether, which I give you props. Not a lot of people can do it.
Huge props for that.
Huge props for doing it. So what has changed for you, from just being a player to not only writing, but I think being, correct me if I'm wrong, but being a huge showrunner, big player.
You help the wheels go round.
Yeah. Just to clarify with Nick, the reason I laughed a little was just because thank you for giving me props for stepping down. I wish I would have stepped down in a better way, because that was maybe my most autistic moment in my life, of me thinking, oh, why do people notify showrunners when they're about to step down? Maybe I should big surprise. That way everyone is surprised. Don't do that. Learn that the semi-hard way is all I will say. But thank you, Nick. But yeah, being the head writer with Dylan, who is the best partner anyone could ask for in that time. Dylan's awesome. Yeah. Being in this position now, my love for the game has genuinely ascended my love for competing, and I never thought that would come, because I love playing. I love competing so much. But genuinely, I just love seeing just other people compete in this league and just putting on a great product. And if that means that I need to take some certain steps back, I am personally willing to do that. This
Are you
year,
singles, Payson?
Yes, I am. Yeah, and
I thought so, but I wasn't sure. Yeah.
So I would genuinely like to hold that singles title this year, but if I never do, I'm going to look at what I did with David and being on Ginyu Force, and I will always share.
You'll be the Tim of Melee.
Oh, you know what? I would adore being.
Yeah, that is a high accolade. That was an absolute compliment.
I'm just thinking about a certain promo that's coming up very soon.
And then I just and like I've taken certain steps of like telling Cody like, hey, if we ever need an event written, I will step back and I will not play. I will write it.
Yeah.
Good it possibly can be. And I just never thought it would get to that point because I just love competing so much. But
yeah, dude, and that's a sense of selflessness that I don't think a lot of, and maybe it's not selflessness because you're foregoing one thing you love doing to do another thing that you also love doing, but that not a lot of people have around these parts.
thank you, Nick.
There is
It's not something I knew about you, quite frankly, because you talked about like your first impression of Tim. I'll be, not that you asked for my first impression of you, but like when you first started, I was kind of like, this cocky little shit thinks he's fucking good at everything.
I come off like the way I come off is not how I intend. Like,
And trust me, I've thought much worse of other people who then went on to be friends. So, so that's not the worst first impression you can give. But I used to think that you would not like. Let's put it this way: if this were a business and Tim and I were running a business, you, Mark, Dylan, I'd hire immediately. And I didn't always think that about you. And now you'd probably be number one on my list. And that's a testament to just being able to step back and look at it from the way you've looked at it.
Yeah.
And this is not all coming from like a selfless like praising you. And I say this because I think Tim and I have done that a little bit as well, where we've had to step back and say like, okay, for others to, or for this, because again, I don't want to frame it as like a selfless, like we're doing this for you all. Like Tim and I love doing this, and we love the product that comes from it, and it gives us joy. But we had to like give up something else that we love doing as well for it to become its full potential, and I see that in you.
Payson, you and I did something recently which will air in 2 months, and so, well, a month and a half. We hosted a debate together.
it's really fun.
The whole debate, I wanted to jump in there because I thought to myself, I would beat the shit out of both of these people. I like both of those people, and I think both of those people are actually good at debate. But I would have beaten them. But it is one of those things of like, when you are a runner of something, a showrunner of something, and you're sitting from the background, it is easy to sit there and say, like, oh man, it's just so much easier to sit and say, I could have done this, or I could have done that, or if I was in this match, I knew that. Well, we do that all the time. The people that watch this go, I wish I would have gotten that round one, or I wish I would have gotten that MCU round, or that round of 90s Cornucopia.
There we go.
But to sit back and just like you said, kind of just like watch other people, it is exciting. It's exciting in a different way, but it's really exciting. And to praise Payson a little bit, sorry, Payson,
You're good.
You're one of those people that I could see like just win teams belts and singles belts over and over again. So to take that step back and just run a thing or write an event or something that you could easily win is cool as shit. Like it's awesome. Like it's very appreciated for us, the little people who still like to play in those things, Payson.
Of course.
Don't forget, I challenged for a melee belt.
Yeah,
I don't want anyone to forget that.
Let's go. Yeah, you are in the records. It's pretty cool.
2 knockouts.
Fucking Will Cohen. Anyway, good shit.
Payson, this has been lovely. Thank you for coming. We'll definitely have to have you back on again. You guys talk about video games, and all we talked about was Minecraft for 5 minutes, so we'll have to get you back on. But yeah, it's been fun diving into the past and yes, Tim.
We can do a video. We did Tim's reviews for a movie.
I wanted to do that for a video game, but I was going to bring up Assassin's Creed Shadow, whatever, because I've heard some shit about it in the news.
Both still in the middle of it, I believe, right, Payson? You haven't finished it?
I'm honestly pretty early on in the game.
How many hours in are you?
I want to say like 12 hours in.
So I'm like 25 hours in right now. So it's a 50-hour game, Nick. So
Nick, games are long.
Dano just looked at me like, who spends that much time on stuff, not realizing the MCU is like 89 hours long. But
yeah, no, I think honestly, like, I think that's a great idea. That's something that I've wanted to do for a while is review some games. So I think when that Switch 2 comes out, baby, Payson, we didn't even talk about that. Mario Kart World, you and I, we're doing the review. It's happening.
100%. 100%.
We're locking it in. June 4th, Payson?
June 5th. June 5th.
What day of the week is that? Nick, go.
12.
12?
Wednesday.
June 5th. What day of the week is it?
Mother's Day.
Okay, well, we're going to do a review for the Switch 2 and Mario Kart World. Me and Payson, we just locked it in here. We'll see you then. I think it's time to throw it back to Tim and Nick. Let's go talk to them right now.
Thank you for throwing it back. We've got it.
Got it.
Good times, good shit, good people.
Yeah. Honestly, I would like to say this is episode 12.
Yeah.
Of the 12 episodes we've done, we've had 10 guests.
Not true.
Two episodes were just you and me.
3.
3 episodes were just you and me?
Yep, the first one, number 10, number 11, the live one, and then... Oh, wait. Holy shit.
That hasn't happened yet. This is episode 12.
That's next week.
You're an idiot. 10 guests.
Yes.
Not a bad guest in there. Well, one bad guest. Last week was pretty rough. But this guest, phenomenal. Yes. Thank you to Payson. Thank you to everybody.
Real quick before you sign off, it's a big week.
It is
Monday right now if you're watching this,
and
it's our first title match week on TBNT Inc. So, to start, yesterday you saw a Fanzone contender match. We're about to spoil it. Spoilers. Rue beat Bar. Rue is challenging for the Fanzone singles title next on Sunday, so like 6 days from now.
Correct.
In between all that, you'll see him again because Rue also won the Fandom singles contender match the triple threat we threw together after everything that happened. Rue won that. He'll be challenging Tyler in a rematch. Prior to that, Bar will play John Marr. Just a little warm-up match to get you in there. It's a fun time.
It is a very good match.
And then Duel of the Fates in a rematch against Posse Galore. Posse Galore, as we saw at the beginning of this match, an even more impressive win than we had originally realized. A rematch of Match of the Year from last year. We'll close out our Fandom title match week. Then you can see the Fanzone title match on Sunday. No match on Friday since it's a big week, but yeah, there's plenty to watch. Tim?
Yeah, we talked about a lot of stuff today, but thank you for watching this. Go check out all the stuff that Nick just mentioned that's coming out this week. Be on the lookout, but also go watch.
Next Monday.
It's live.
We can announce this now. We're doing round 4 live.
It's live.
So live round 4 next Monday, 8:00. It's going to be our Q&A, our usual Q&A that we used to do. We're on TBNT Inc. It's round 4 live. You submit your questions. We're going to recap Act 1, get into Act 2 and Act 3, as well as just talk about some other shit. So be there or be dumb.
We talked about a lot of stuff. Go look at the other stuff, but we also said go see Payson's show. It aired tonight. Cinemasters Reviews over at the video store. They have another new show called Is It Chat? We talked about it at the beginning. Go watch it.
2/3 of the time, it is.
They've got a lot of stuff going on over there at the video store. Payson's also running Movie Melee over at Multiplex, so go check that out as well. Lots of good stuff over there that Payson's working on. So thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, let us know. I think I was gonna say this, Nick, and we keep elaborating, but I'm just gonna keep going. I'm gonna make a post on the Facebook page for questions for the Q&A. I think that's a good idea.
Okay.
I like it. I think I'm gonna make a post
Sure.
that says, if you have questions for the Q&A, hit them here. We're gonna do that. So
just a reminder, check out the website. After all the title matches and probably prior to round 4, everything's gonna be updated. Rankings, records, schedule. Check it out.
it's pretty intense stuff. Dogman is now eligible in Fandom. Thanks, bye.